We're on. Hello out there!
Hi.
Welcome! Woohoo!
Woo!
Yes, we are live. You know what? My timer is messed up. Hold on, I'm gonna have to fix this. Just give me a moment, and we'll get the timer working better. Because we're gonna be counting down to NaNoWriMo 2021. I'm like, what year is it? It feels like it's been forever, right? 2021. So I'm super excited. I'm sure all of you are excited. I have the AutoCrit crew with me. I have Catherine. I have Anthony. I have Elle. This is exciting, isn't it? Like,
And
wow.
we
Yeah.
Anthony and Elle, you've never even done this before. This is your first time. But I know, Catherine, you've done this quite a few times. How many times have you done this, Catherine?
This will be my 9th NaNoWriMo year.
Wow, your ninth NaNoWriMo. There we go. I got the counter fixed. Woohoo! So yes, counting down the time for you to start writing and working on your NaNoWriMo numbers. And if you don't even know what any of this is, you're like, what's up with the hats? What's up with the party? What's up with anything? Don't worry, we're gonna explain all of this to you. So if you're somebody joining in from the blue and you're like, I have no idea what's going on, we're gonna talk about it. Don't worry. Speaking of Nano, so I want to talk a little bit about that. That's a good place to start. NaNoWriMo is an event that's been going on for quite some time, and it challenges everybody to write throughout the month of November. It's been a very successful event in terms of getting people involved, and it's even been successful in terms of creating some books like these, for example. Ooh, these novels were written during National Novel Writing Month, and they're not the only ones, but these were written during that time frame. Now, if you're not exactly sure how it works, I'm going to tell you all about it. How does NaNoWriMo work? Well, the goal is to write 50,000 words during the month of November. That is your mission. You choose to accept it. What'd you say, Catherine?
I said 1 month. Just one.
1 month. Yes, 1 month. That basically breaks down, for those of you who are math challenged like me, and you have to do it in 66 words a day. So, but does that mean you have to write that every day? Of course not. It's just that's the average, right? Certainly you can take days off, you can binge write on certain days. It's up to you. Your goal, though, is to do that amount of words during the course of that month, which means no cheating. Don't start yet. You got 58 minutes. Gotta wait. Especially, and if you're not on the East Coast, you might have to wait longer. I'm sorry. We're on the East Coast over here.
Daniel, I have a question about that. If we've already planned out or thought on or written little like quips that we think our characters might say at some point, is that constituting as a head start? Or we're not complete newbie. Neither of us have done this before. I like the hat. No, is that a head start? Is that okay?
I'm so glad
It is certainly fine and expected. We have the whole what people often call Preptober to prepare. So if you're coming with an outline, if you're coming with ideas, that's great. It actually will probably help you get through those 50,000 words. Certainly encouraged. For those of you, though, who are just joining in, maybe didn't have a chance to do that, don't worry. Just go with it. Go with the flow, find some things to do. You could even include the 666 words in outlining or something. The idea is to get you creatively writing. That's really what it's about. And it's about building healthy habits. It's an opportunity, as it says here, to develop writing habits. Oh, is the timer 58 hours, 57 minutes, and 20 seconds? It might be. So. I think I might need to fix that. It's not that long, everybody. Hold on. I'm going to fix it.
We got so many people on. I see Lori's here, Mike, Jack, Ray, JC. So many great people. So I'm curious to know, since we're talking about time zones and stuff, if you're comfortable, drop where you are. Because I know I saw a couple people saying they were going to join from like the UK, and it's already NaNoWriMo for you guys. Congratulations. The rest of us are anxiously like biting our nails waiting, but...
and then for those of you who are already on a time zone that you've already begun, that's awesome. Hopefully you've already started to work towards that goal for today, and you're just cranking the words out, and we can just give you some extra motivation thank you for somebody who called out that my timer was wrong, but it's fixed. There we go. we thankfully it is not 60 hours away from from NaNoWriMo. Oh, okay. So where do we have people from? Let's just do a little shout out here because I've seen quite a few. We have Michigan. Yep. New York, New Jersey, Pittsburgh, the Bluegrass State. I think that's Idaho. No, I'm just kidding. Just to see if I got it right. Yeah, no, that's great. That's great. But yeah, no, this is an opportunity to develop writing habits. So we'll talk with you, Anthony and Elle, a little bit later about specifically what you're looking to get out of this NaNoWriMo experience, because that's what this is about. This is a tool for you, right? This is something for all of you, and it's supposed to be fun. I'm in a Viking hat. This is fun, right? Yeah, exactly. So, something to keep in mind as you're going down through this. Stop slowing yourself down with perfectionism. This is not the time for that. This is the time, if you're the type of person that you'll write a little bit and then you'll edit a little bit and all that, this is not going to work. You got to just plow through, because the ultimate goal is to get you writing faster. But it's not just about fastness for fastness sake, right? It's a little bit more creative when we can just put ourselves out there. Catherine, do you find yourself often having to fight against your little inner editor? Because I know you do a lot of editing for us here at AutoCrit. So how is it like when you're having to write your own work? Do you have to kind of shut that off?
Yeah, I tell people that I tape over my delete key or my backspace key, which, I mean, I can't really do because I can't edit other people's stuff without a backspace key. Sorry, everybody. But, I mean, I sort of mentally do that. I tell myself, absolutely no. No deletes allowed. No going back. I can go back and fix it later. It's just plow straight ahead. Unless you go, like if you're going and then you realize, oh, I missed a whole chapter, then you can use the arrow and go back up and click and fill in the chapter, but like no deleting.
I love this question. Oh, well, hi, Anna. But anyone else not sure what they're going to write? I love that. I just love it because that's what it's about. Oh, look, it looks like Anna, not sure what you're going to write there? Or Elle, yes?
Not sure at all. Oh my God.
Not sure at all. That's
not
awesome.
At all. Winging it.
We are
it's great.
writing for the wastebasket to get our motivation up.
Yes, exactly. That's
what we're going for. Just
writing for the wastebasket. That's my big thing right now.
It just gets over that mental hurdle, and you end up with something, and you read it, and you're like, oh, okay.
It's so true. You know, I've often found, like, I'll get stuck on something, and I'll be like, I don't know if this is any good, or I don't know what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. And then it's like, actually, you know, this isn't all that bad once I have that distance, right? Because when I'm in the thick of it, I'm just hating it because I'm just having to do it, right? And then you just spit it out there and you find it's not so bad. Now, here's a little hack, though, for those of you like me and Catherine and the analytical types that like to parse out words. Something you might try. I'm not saying you have to do this, but you might try playing with your font, because you can find that when you type and it's not in a typical font you read, like a nice pretty book font like this one, if it's in like an ugly one like a Comic Sans, or maybe even something that's not easily read, like, I don't know, like Wingdings level, but you know, something that's not easily read, it can just turn that off because it just looks like kind of noise and you're not thinking about it. Maybe try it if you find that you're getting slow because you're constantly trying to parse out what you already have written. I just love, though, somebody coming in without any idea what to do, because that's just fun, right? That's like the ultimate pantsing, right? So turn off your editor. Turn them off. This is a time for creative exploration. Nobody has to read what you write during this time frame. Anthony's like, it's going to the wastebasket. You know, that's not necessarily a bad attitude in terms of this practice, right? This is practice. Oh, this is interesting. I sometimes switch to handwriting when I get stuck on the screen. Yeah. Mm-hmm. NaNoWriMo does not have to be typed. It can be handwritten. It's all a hybrid based on your input. Yeah, go ahead, Anthony.
Well, as a hybrid note on the point on the changing the fonts up, getting something off of what you usually read, I really love that. And I like the last comment because I can't read my own handwriting half the time without focus. So if I just jump in and start going, that could be really cool. Very helpful.
I do know some writers too that they feel for whatever reason writing by hand just kind of triggers a different part of their brain and maybe more creative space or something. It's all about that. It's all about exploring, finding ways to challenge yourself. But on the other hand, while we don't want to turn off our inner editor, we want to turn off inner editor. Don't just trash your 50K word with just a bunch of filler nonsense, right? Don't just start sitting there and just going blah blah blah. I'm gonna fix it, lorem ipsum, whatever it is, because that's no fun, and that's not really what it's about. Nobody cares if you hit the goal. Nobody even knows. You can lie and say you've done it. Nobody's going to know. So it's for yourself, right? So ultimately, what you want to do is use it as a tool, as motivation, but motivation to practice, not just spit out nothing.
Exactly. It's not about hitting the 50,000. It's about getting less words that you have to do later on. By doing
you
more
might get less done otherwise in your life, which is fine. You can put that to the side.
Like, think of all the things you won't have to do post Thanksgiving if you do it now.
Yeah, exactly. I like this. Anna says she voice records and then transcribes. Yeah, I know some people that what they'll like to do is they like to use like dictation because, sometimes people, you have all kinds of things. They just don't type fast. Maybe they're dyslexic. There's, and it just opens up opportunities for them to write in ways and get them quicker and things like that, for sure. Yeah, that's a great idea. Just anything, try any strategy. All right, so outlining versus pantsing, NaNoWriMo. Seems like we got a lot of pantsers here based on the fact that a lot of people don't even know what they're doing. So that's great. But to Anthony's point early on, maybe you have come with a huge outline. That's awesome. Either way, there's different strategies you're gonna have to use, right? If you're an outliner, the one thing that you might find is keeping your motivation up is difficult because you've kind of already told your story in your outline. So just spitting that out can be hard. The other thing is you might get married to your outline and you might hate it. And then you just keep writing and you feel like you're digging a bigger and bigger ditch. If that happens, well, guess what? You might have to become a pantser because you might just have to say, from here on out, I hated what this was and I'm going to have to fix it in post and just go. And you're going to have to experience the pants life. I'm just warning you.
I think what Anthony was saying, I don't know, Anthony, it almost sounds like you're a planter, which is where it's like, oh, I've got a basic idea of some things, but then I'm just going to pants everything else.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how many story points and beats end up being completely common tropes, and then getting excited to be like, oh yeah, I did the thing. But yeah, it's a little bit of a blend. I've got like the main characters. That's it. That's it. A little bit of an intro, something involving a very large crab, and then I don't know. We'll see.
That's awesome.
That's the theme of the night. We'll see.
Large crabs always work. It worked for Brandon Sanderson. He wrote a whole book about that. Worked just fine. No, but Catherine, I know you do a lot for Preptober. So what does your Preptober look like? How are you approaching NaNoWriMo? You're kind of a planter, right, when it comes to NaNoWriMo?
I am a full-blown pantser, but I help a lot of other people with their Preptobers, and I think most people fall in planter for Rimo, I think. I mean, I know there's a lot of planners, but like you said, it's hard when you plan because you can almost drift into planning too much. Your base outline turns into an in-depth outline, and then before you know it, you're just filling things in, and then you get to Nano and you're like, well, can I count the 60 pages of outline that I already have, or does it have to be in addition to that? And the good news is, yes, NaNoWriMo has what's called Nano Rebels. It's a badge you can add if you've got your Nano set up, which if you don't, how much time do we even have left, Daniel?
How much time do we have left? 45 minutes.
So you've got 45 minutes to go sign up for NaNoWriMo if you're not already on there, and announce your novel so you can start writing at midnight. But when you do that and you announce your novel, there's a little badge on there and it'll say a Nanowrimo. And this is somebody that counts in words that maybe wouldn't be considered old school. And then there's the old school Rimo badge. And those are those of us who are going to open a new document. We don't even have the words chapter 1 on there because we're like, that's 2 words. And
Right.
we're going to start out. So for me, Preptober is just trying to get excited about the story that I write as a pantser. It's like, oh, I've got an idea. Maybe it was a dream I had or something. And okay, I like this idea. Who's the main character going to be in my head? Nothing really gets written down. And then I work myself up. Okay, I'm not allowed to write about it. I'm not allowed to talk about it. And November 1st, it's like, okay, I can write. I can write whatever I want.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, it's so true. Like if you're outlined, you might find yourself, like I said, really kind of becoming a pantser by default. Now on the flip side, if you're a pantser, well, you run the risk of writing yourself into a corner, getting stuck. But you know what? It doesn't matter. Just because you need to write that amount of words, start a new project. Jump somewhere else. You can do things so many different ways. It doesn't matter, right? Just because it's called the National Novel Writing Month doesn't mean you literally have to write a novel. As it is, most novels are not 50,000 words, and you're gonna have to rewrite it anyway. So it's abstract, right? So if you find yourself getting stuck, well, like I said, feel free to drop projects, start a new one, rewrite what you just wrote. Like, who knows? Like, give yourself the flexibility to do it. The point is just to keep moving forward. Whatever good habit you're building and whatever momentum you're doing, just keep going. And the answer is yes. The answer is always yes, because we can ask those other questions later. it's like brainstorming or improv. The answer is yes. Just keep going.
Yeah, I wrote a random food fight scene to break out of the wall. Do I get to count it? Yes, keep it in there. It can be a darling someday and you can cut it. But for now, it counts.
Yep, exactly. And even though I said a while back, don't put in trash, feel free to write scenes you don't intend to put in your novel. If you're just goofing off, that's fine too. That's creative writing, because you can always piece it off. Maybe you'll put it in another book. Maybe you just needed to get that out of the way. When I said trash, I was literally meaning like just nonsense filler, like whatever. You're not really putting any thought to it kind of stuff. Remember, this is for you. Make this work for you. I am excited. All right, so let's see. I'm going to catch up on the comment. Jason admits, it's like it's an admission, that he has a Word document novel template set up. There's nothing wrong with that, Jason.
Confession.
Yeah.
Sounds
forgiven.
good. Oh, it's Anna's first NaNoWriMo. How exciting.
Yes, Anna.
Yay, join the club. My 2011 Nano project comes out. Wow, that's cool.
Congrats.
But it just goes to show, you write something, you trunk it, you work on it, and it comes out much better. Yes.
For anyone who hasn't signed up, it only took 2 minutes or a minute and a half, actually. I just did it since you brought it up.
Anthony's official.
Yeah.
So, there we go. And to the creative writing portion, I know you're doing something a little bit more unorthodox for it.
Yeah, I'm probably going to be a rebel. Yeah.
Awesome. Rebels.
Yeah. Yes. I'm gonna see how it turns into but I'm gonna announce myself as a rebel, I think. Just in case. I might end up doing the classic, who knows, but we'll see. Because I also do screenwriting and songwriting, so we're gonna see where the chips fall. But I just want to write as much as possible in whatever capacity I end up doing it.
We've got a lot of coffee. We got a lot of coffee ready.
I think we got a challenge. 1.5 minutes. Who can do it faster? It's like, share your loom. If you did faster than 1.5 minutes, you get a special prize. Okay. So this kind of speaks, Elle, you're kind of speaking out what our personal goals are, right? Because we all have this like master goal, that 50,000 words, but that doesn't necessarily speak to our personal goals, like what we're trying to get out of it. So for those of you who are new, Anthony, now I'm curious, like what are the personal goals that you want? Elle said you want to, just write a lot more. So
so just in terms of like the last year and everything with COVID, my writing went from I'd increased at a nice alarming rate to like 3 hours a day with my writing. and then it just plummeted. So I just want to push myself to write as much as possible every day, and this seemed like the perfect way to get started with that, get it back up again. So I'm very excited. It's an excuse. It's a wonderful excuse to build up momentum.
We get hats.
And
we get hats. Oh my God.
No, it's what was that?
And we have the hats for it.
You do have the hats.
Yeah.
You know, there's something about it though. It's like it's like how I feel like you dress up, you know, to like show to feel important at work or whatever, to kind of get yourself into a work headspace. There's something about wearing stuff to get you in a creative headspace, and I can tell you, I'm feeling pretty creative right now with this. Either that, or I'm picking up television stations from Australia. I'm not entirely sure. What about you, Anthony? What are some of the goals that you have?
I have started so many little one-off, typically high fantasy stories or blurbs that I fall in love with. It's such an oddly like inspiring, romantic idea to think in 30 days or in a month, there can be something that could represent a book in a technical sense, not yet in a literal sense, but I just want to try it. I just want to try making a story.
So maybe finish a narrative of some sort in this time frame. That would be cool.
Specifically a fantasy book. That would be very great.
I love it. Looks like we have some interesting ones. 150K. Wow. You're gonna have to tell us. We're gonna have a feed at the end of this month, and you're gonna have to tell me how that went. Because wow, that's ambitious. I love it, though. I love ambition. I'm not criticizing ambition. That's just impressive. This will be the first horror thriller tab. That's so cool. This is such a great opportunity to try a new genre, right? And just throw yourself in the deep end and say, not only am I going to try a new genre, I'm going to write it every day. I'm going to write a ton of it because, hey, that's how you get good at it, right? Is by practicing. That's fantastic.
Exactly.
Jason says that he did 100,000 last year. Wow. Yeah. I love that. Only planning on 65, 70K. Yeah. Only. It's very ambitious. Very ambitious. That's great. First goal is to find a quiet storage room with no kids. I love it. That's very attainable. That should happen. And the second goal is to find my pen that was lost on the way to my storage closet. You know what? You're already some great creative writing right there. I just love that.
I was going to say great story, great scene building.
I'm hooked.
I'm hooked.
Right? Yeah. Like, I feel like you have a narrative just about yourself you can write. I was like, the end, I'm like, what did happen to that person? Did they find their pen? You know, you started with an immediate problem. You got it, Rodney. I'm impressed. Yeah. Wow, we have a lot of ambitious people. 80K.
Wow.
6K a day.
So what are the small goals? Is what I want to know.
What'd you say, Catherine?
I said, what are the small goals that everybody says? I don't know if anybody knows about SMART goals, but I think for me, being a pantser, it's hard to give like, okay, I know I have to hit 50,000 words to win. Win being a guidelines loose term, because writing anything is a win. But it's like that's so far out that instead, what are your smaller goals? Do you have smaller goals set? It's like, okay, well, if I write the first chapter, I'm going to do this. Or if I write the first 10,000 words, I'm going to do this. Like, who else does milestone goals?
I have, here's one. Mike says to finish a project. So I like that. That's kind of like what Anthony's saying, right? I have a terrible habit of starting a project but never finishing. That's good. That's good. Absolutely.
We can keep each other on it during the live streams throughout the month.
I feel like this is oddly specific, Ray. 53,000 in 28 days. I can't mathematically figure that. Is that like work out to some even number on those? I don't know. I'm trying to figure out the thing. I made a schedule for each. Okay, so this is a real planner, right?
Whoa, Tammy. Nice.
Wow.
I don't think that's representative of a lot of our viewers. Certainly not representative of me. in my creative project. What's our starting place? We already started a little bit. Elle says you don't have anything, right? You're just flying by the seat of your pants. You don't have anything. You're just gonna sit down.
Oh
Maybe
yeah.
words of flow. Don't worry, we're about to do a brainstorming exercise. Maybe that'll help you get started there. For those of
Nice.
you who haven't got anything, we're gonna do that too. Anthony, what's your starting place?
I think I'm going to actually use one of the beat sheets from the challenge.
Ooh,
From the
nice.
Drop the Beat challenge.
Drop the Beat challenge. By the way, if you haven't seen that, go back a few videos. It's awesome. Okay, go ahead, Anthony.
And just kind of taking one thing from the next step. I've never pieced together a story like that. But I also love the pantsing because you get to kind of discover what you end up writing along the way. It's almost like reading a book while writing the book, and you can have some more fun with it. And for me, that's the appeal.
Totally true. Totally true. All right, Catherine. So you say you're a total pantser. So do you literally you have at least a fraction of an idea, right? A hook or something, right?
I mean, I do. Okay. My editor, if she's watching, she's probably about ready to like wring my neck. The book is due to the editor like ASAP. So I'm like, I have to finish this book that I have not started really. I have to finish this book in November, and that's not really an option. So outside of that, it's like whatever I can do to get it done. I know what the story is supposed to be about, but how it's going to end up, who knows?
Wow.
So if you guys want to follow along, like Anthony said, AutoCrit's doing the check-ins like every 5 days through Rimo. You guys can see me hit the walls and cry.
I'm excited. I cannot wait to
celebrate as I get out of them.
Yeah.
We're all going to be checking in throughout. So writing spaces and headspaces. This is something I want to talk about in terms of ways to work through NaNoWriMo. So yeah, writing spaces, this can be really helpful, right? We can figure out what are good places and maybe make a pattern out of it. Some people like to go on walks and they'll dictate into their phone or something and then they'll do it later. There's a special room. Maybe it's a storage room where you don't know where your pen is. Maybe it's Starbucks. Maybe it's the park, and then when you constantly go back to that space, you can kind of get yourself into a creative space. But headspaces, what's a way to get yourself into headspace? Well, one thing is music. And I know we have some Spotify playlists out there, right? Our AutoCrit Spotify playlists. Elle's put those together. And I recommend too, if we don't have a specific genre you're doing or something, come up with one too. That can be really helpful. I think that it's great to just, like I said, get yourself into that headspace. And it's almost like the Pavlovian, ringing the bell and the dog drooling thing, right? I mean, we're just whatever, mechanical creatures. You can train yourself into getting into that creative space a little bit easier with some patterns. But as Catherine was talking about, yes, we are going to have our little pit stops that we like to call ready, set, right pit stops. Yes, because it's a bit of a race, this NaNoWriMo stuff. And we'll be doing those every 5 days during NaNoWriMo for our AutoCrit members. So if you're not an AutoCrit member now, what's going on? No, I'm just kidding. If you're not an AutoCrit member yet, you can go to AutoCrit, and obviously you get access to our software, which will be extremely important. Probably a little bit more on the other side of NaNoWriMo as you're editing and all of that. But in the meantime, you'll have access to our community and the mighty networks, as we call it. And we'll be doing every 5 days a little check-in, and that's going to be me, Catherine, maybe some other special guests. I don't know if Anthony Nell might show up. You just never know. And we'll be talking about whether how we're doing in our projects. And also, this is a great time for you to ask questions because, maybe you're stuck and you're like, you know what? I have this scene and I just don't know what to do next. And you might just get a bunch of random suggestions and you'll be like, oh, that works great. The dog is now talking. Great. It turns out the elephant was the mastermind the whole time. Like, you never know. So you'll get those sort of little jump starts and then you can get going, which will be fantastic.
Daniel, that actually raises a question on my end. And I suppose, Catherine, with the 9 under your belt here, you know this very well, but how often do people really openly talk about their projects with other nano writers, being like, okay, here's the scene, here's what's going on, what do I do next? Or is it all supposed to be just in your head and then on the page?
I would say it's very community oriented. What would you say, Catherine?
Definitely. Yeah.
Awesome.
That's the fun of this,
about,
right? The fun of this is that we're doing this all together, right? It's a bunch of people trying to do the same crazy thing that you're trying to do at the same time. So yeah, we're all in this together.
yeah, there's nano forums, and then like Daniel was saying, the pit stops are going to be in Mighty Networks, which for those of you who are joining, if you're not a member or if you're an AutoCrit member but you haven't signed up for Mighty Networks, that is the AutoCrit dedicated community. So like the people that are on this live who are AutoCrit members can go there before you jump out into literally an international scene in NaNoWriMo, and you can have your own committed group of people that get to stick around after Nano. So it's like you get the Nano forum for technical stuff and community, and then you got AutoCrit, and we're here all year long. So join the
That's
craziness.
right. I love this. Music is what I use, or watching something in the genre you're writing. That's true, because you're not going to write all the time, but it can be helpful in your off time to still kind of stay in that headspace by watching things. You probably don't want to read stuff because you're probably going to be fatigued, but maybe, if you're going to be watching TV or something and you're writing fantasy, watch some fantasy movies. Go back to go back to some of the things that you really loved that really inspired you to want to tell stories, right? Because then you might latch on to something like that. I love it. Now, you might be wondering, well, I'm going to do all this, and what's going to be on the other side? Well, the good news is that we'll be here on the other side, right?
Yes.
So I just want to put in a plug for some of our author services that we have here. We have our first chapter critique and story inspection services. And the nice thing about this is it's a little bit of a safety net. Guess what? Somebody will read your stuff, and we'll give a lot of feedback to it, and we'll help you get it to that next level too. So, this is going to go somewhere. Trust me. So get started working on it. That's all I'm saying. It can be helpful. What'd you say? Go ahead, Catherine.
It'll be honest.
Yes. Oh yes, we're always honest, aren't we, Catherine? Yes, we're always very honest, very helpful, and it's just so much fun. All right, so I know some of you maybe didn't come in with a plan, so we're gonna do a little quick book blender here. We're gonna mix up a little story right here on the fly, a little improv writing. It's gonna be fun. Story elements chosen at random. So first, I'm going to pick a random character, and I have no idea what this is going to be. Like I said, this is completely live. I'm going to pull up my blender if I can get it to work. Hold on. All right, here's my blender, and then I need somebody to tell me when to stop.
From the audience or the live stream?
Yeah, just somebody from the live stream or from the crew.
Stop.
Anybody? Okay.
Make it
Peter
stop.
Pan. Peter Pan.
Hey.
Okay. We can work with that. And we can go a little bit abstract from that. We don't have to take it exactly Peter Pan. We can say this is a character, doesn't grow up, kind of ethereal, lives outside the norm, right? Childhood. I'm liking it. And then let's see what we got here. Let's pick a setting. So this is going to be a completely random setting. I have, like I said, no idea where this is going to be. I just got to bring it up here. Just a second. This is so exciting. Okay, so setting. And I'm just going to have to hear somebody tell me to stop.
Stop.
All right, the setting is... Whoa, hold on.
Uh-oh.
Nope.
My blender doesn't like me right now. What happened? Paris. Okay.
Paris?
All right. So Paris. All right. That wasn't quite as random as I thought it would be, although usually you associate Peter Pan with London and not Paris. So that alone makes you kind of wonder how this would be a different sort of story. And now we get to pick a random object from this list. And these are just abstract symbols. They can mean whatever you want. So, Catherine, choose something.
A rabbit.
Choose the rabbit. Okay, so we have a rabbit, we have Peter Pan, and we have France. Okay, so just think about that a little bit. Rabbit, Peter Pan, and France. Okay, now one thing I'm thinking about, I'm trying to think of like the difference between London and France. Like London, I really associate with, again, kind of usually in a fiction, it's more of a strictness. It's more of an orderly, whereas Paris is more the art city, right? So you have, instead of this creative, out of the box childlike character interrupting this stately sort of society, he's interrupting a more artistic society, right? I'm trying to figure out what to do with the bunny. I haven't quite figured that out yet. All right, so what does the protagonist want? What would Peter Pan want in France, per se? In the original story, he wants to hear stories, but I feel like we can make that so much more interesting. And I feel like it has to relate to the bunny somehow.
Well,
Any thoughts out there?
Makes me think of the Matrix a little bit, chasing the rabbit.
Oh, yes, like the white rabbit, right?
Pull that one
Yeah,
out.
maybe there's
Out
like
of a hat.
kid.
Pulled it out of a
What was
hat.
that? Yeah, or the rabbit coming out of a hat, right? Maybe it's something about magic, right? Peter Pan. Maybe Peter Pan likes to watch a magician who works in France, right? So you have this, right? He is the bunny. Ooh, so Peter Pan turns into, okay. So we have a bunny who is a childlike character who can't grow up, okay, and is a representation of some sort of like youthful enthusiasm. Okay, so it's a bunny. So okay, so now I'm thinking, I'm just going crazy with this. Now I'm thinking that this is a bunny that's like a muse, right? And if somebody has the bunny, they have like the creative powers of like childhood. But if they don't have the bunny, then they don't, right? And so there's this artist who lives in France who's really successful, and the only reason why is because of this bunny. And the bunny doesn't paint like Ratatouille. No, it's just that the bunny is there. It's like his little amulet, right? And so now people want the bunny because they want to have the power in order to do the cool art. What do you think?
How does Peter Pan learn about the bunny? Is he in an apprentice situation here?
Well, we're thinking that the bunny is Peter Pan. That came from somebody. Luna, right. I love that. Yeah, Peter Pan is essentially the bunny. The bunny essentially is Peter Pan. It's an otherworldly creature that doesn't grow up, you know, and represents like ultimate imagination, right? And by having him around, it allows you to be be a better artist. So the protagonist would be this artist that has this bunny, okay? And if we say why they're badly suited, well, then what I would say is we need to make sure that they don't have the bunny and then are put in the situation where they have to artistically perform. You know, and why do we like the protagonist? Well, we're going to feel sorry for somebody who has to rely on a bunny, I guess, for their creative talent.
Are they a bunny shifter?
What was that?
Into being a bunny?
Oh, yeah, maybe he shifts into the bunny, and then that's how it paints.
Is there a form of Lincoln Trophy that covers bunnies?
I like the bunny being kind of an amulet, but sure, you can make it a shifter. He shifts into a bunny, and when this bunny form, he can paint, but he can only paint if he's a bunny. Fair enough, right? Meets it at the top of the Eiffel Tower. Ooh, I like that. It's a tall place, so it comes through some sort of portal, and he meets it there. Nice. All right, so now it's time to talk about the villain. We didn't have a villain yet. That's gonna make things interesting. All right, so let's look at villains, shall we? And then somebody's gonna have to tell me when to stop. I'm gonna start blending. All right. Holding out on me here.
Stop.
Strong blend.
The Grinch.
Nice.
Oh no, that kind of makes sense though. Like, wow, that like works really well because you have a character who is just really cynical and he thinks that he can steal, and he steals the bunny, and then it turns out that the artist didn't need the bunny all along. Like, the artist had it within himself to be able to paint without the bunny.
So the Grinch has a bit of a, if I'm recalling correctly, the canon Grinch has a bit of a redemption in giving back towards the end of the story. Is that correct, or depending on the version?
Yes, he does give everything back. So obviously, yeah, if you kept that up, then even when the person is able to accomplish the art without the bunny, he still gives the bunny back because, you know, who wants to just keep a bunny?
And the real
So
magic.
what does villain want? Now, here's the thing, though. Why does this curmudgeon not like it? I wonder, like, maybe we could go the Ratatouille route, and maybe he's like an art critic or something, and he hates this guy or something, or he is a opponent.
Does he have a history with the bunny? Maybe a personal use of it in the past?
Maybe he used to have the bunny, and he could paint with it, and then this guy like kind of stole it from him, or the bunny moves. Maybe the bunny just moves too, because obviously it's not just going to hang around one person forever. It's kind of like Peter Pan, right?
Against the bunny and not against Peter Pan.
I like it. Yeah, and what makes this villain a good obstacle? Like I said, he knows about the bunny, right? So he can steal it. And what does the protagonist need to learn to defeat the villain? Well, in this case, I would say he has to realize that his skills were there all along, and so therefore the villain gets thwarted. All right, we're gonna throw in a weird story because I love to do this. A fish is found with a parasite that eats its tongue and then becomes its tongue. Yeah, this is another storm.
What?
Yeah. This is a legit story that came up. It's from October 21st.
And becomes a tongue.
Where's Gareth? This seems like a Gareth story.
No, but if you think about it, okay, so something that seems parasitic that destroys you actually ends up restoring what it's destroyed, right? So again, you have this art critic, right, who tries to destroy this artist from within, and he ends up empowering him on the other side. It all fits together. I feel like this was destiny. This wasn't planned, guys. This was all we can go. I love the people in the comments. What? But see, this is why it's good to read weird news. See, now you're gonna know. If you get stuck in Nano, look for weird news. It's very helpful. It's very helpful.
You never know what's gonna inspire you.
Ooh, another twist. The narrator is unreliable.
I could have guessed that.
Yeah, that means whoever's telling the story is like, that's really interesting. Well, you could do it a bunch of different ways, right? You could have it be the artist, right? And maybe he's unreliable because he doesn't believe in his own abilities. Maybe it's the opponent is the narrator and he's unreliable because he tells a story about how he stole the bunny, and maybe that's not even true. Maybe the bunny actually wanted to go to the other guy. You got options. You got options. Anyway, what's the name? What does he say? What would we call this story?
Maybe it was a trickle along, and the other guy's just a future version of himself, and the bunny.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, we're going a little like. Sounds very like Meet the Robinsons or something. It's like your future self is trying to steal. Oh, I love that though. Your future self stole the bunny from you so that you could realize that you could be a good artist the whole way around. That's kind of fun.
That you would grow up.
That you would grow up. Oh, and it gets back to Peter Pan. That's the way to grow up.
Does he follow the bunny through the rabbit hole, and that's how he goes back in time to change himself?
Ooh,
you know he does.
I like that.
Write that down.
Anyway, that was fun, right? I had a blast. Hopefully you got some ideas along the way. But we only got about 15 minutes left. What is this?
Yes.
Like crazy.
So who hasn't announced their novels? We want to see, besides Anthony, who did it in like 2 minutes and less, a minute, however many seconds, earlier in the call.
Did anyone beat his time?
Oh, God.
Did anyone beat his time? All right. Let's do a little Nanowrimo trivia here. And I'm going to move my little counter and timer so that you can see the trivia questions here. I'm going to move it over here. All right. How many words must you complete in order to win Nanowrimo? Let's see if we were paying attention, everybody. So 40K, 50K, 60K, or 120K.
1 million.
Somebody's right.
Yes, we have 50,000. Okay, now these trivia questions are going to be NaNoWriMo related, but this is the other one. What was the first year for NaNoWriMo? Does anybody know that?
Ooh,
1995, 1997, 1999, or 1452?
Oh,
that's a fun
Sarah,
one.
so fast.
Sarah is really fast. The answer is 1997. And we actually looked it up, and it turns out these Viking helmets came in the 10th year of NaNoWriMo. So that's how long they've been around. They represent a spirit of adventure. I feel it coursing through my veins. All right, so we're gonna do some trivia, literary trivia. What does Stephen King say the road to hell is paved with? We say it often here in AutoCrit too. Is it bad writing, cliches, adverbs, or copies of the Mangler? Oh, poor
Ouch.
Stephen King. I know. Gets a little snarky
There's only
there.
love here for Stephen King if he's watching this.
I'm sure Gareth has thrown something at his screen now. Yes, the road to hell is paved with adverbs. Yes. But don't let that worry you if you write adverbs during NaNoWriMo. It's totally normal, part of the writing process. You'll fix it in post. Trust me. Okay, what is the first word of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone? Is it Harry, the, Mr., or Accio?
I know this one.
Just dig into my music. Oh, we got some guesses. It looks like C is the popular answer. And the answer is C, yes. Starts with Mr. and Mrs. Dursley, blah, blah, blah. Yes. Yeah. All right. How many words is Pride and Prejudice? Talk about word count.
Ooh.
Is it 100K?
Without Googling.
120K, 90K, or 220K? This one's tough because I don't think too many people have sat there and counted them. And if you have, it's an interesting hobby you have. You might belong on our crew. Send us an email.
I mean, I don't even remember my own word count.
You might be up there with you might be up there with some of our staff who love to analyze words and books. It is 120K, which is really long for a romance novel.
Yes, it
would
is.
not be normal nowadays, but with or without zombies, without. How many unique words are in Green Eggs and Ham by Dr. Seuss? So how many words that do not repeat? 25, 35, 50, or 10? Not a lot of unique words, obviously, based on this. It actually came about because there was a bet between Theodore Geisel, who wrote it, and a friend of his that he could not write a book, a narrative, with these few words.
Oh, wow.
And it kind of started with the Cat in the Hat. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Anthony.
Oh, I had no idea. Now, the unique words in Green Eggs and Ham by Dr. Seuss, do you count doctor as a full word? Because I count 7 unique words.
Yes, in the title, that is correct. Yes. That would be a very cruel way of doing this question. Yes, the answer is 50. Yes, there are only 50 unique words in that whole work. Yeah.
So there's a lot of repetition there.
A lot of repetition. What is the last word in Jurassic Park? Is it dinosaur, hotel, Grant, or survived?
Very, very thematic at the end there.
Those are all very possible, Ryan. It's pretty tricky. Yeah. End. I like that. No, it doesn't actually say the end at the end. I mean, the movie, I guess, but actually, I don't even think the movie does. No, it just cuts to credits. So, no.
Who was the lead sound designer's assistant in Jurassic?
Right? That'd be awesome. I like the end too. Oh, we got a few different choices. I don't think anyone's gotten it right though. The answer is hotel. That is the last word in Jurassic Park because they're going back into a hotel after hearing about Dinosaurs are attacking the mainland. Okay. How many ghosts visit Scrooge in A Christmas Carol? Is it 3, 4, 5, or 999? But there's always room for one more.
That's all of his personal demons.
Scrooge has got a lot of issues.
A great character, though, for writing.
Scrooge?
Yeah. Such a character arc with Scrooge, for sure.
Absolutely. The classic rebirth story arc. And if you don't know about the rebirth story arc, check out the 7 stories video that we showed just a few weeks ago. You get to see me dress up like a card shark at a casino and realize that I am awful at shuffling. If you watch that video, I am the worst. I am the absolute worst. Like, and you can tell. Just watch the video, and you'll be like, "Wow, this is hard." Yeah,
I would sit at your table.
The answer is 4. You might have thought 3, but remember, Jacob Marley is one of the ghosts. So there's the ghost of past, present, future, and Jacob Marley. So really, it's 4 ghosts. Yeah, a little tricky there, right?
Our inciting incident ghost.
Yes. What decade is Water for Elephants set in? This is a NaNoWriMo book. 1920s, 1940s, 1930s, or 1990s? I feel like if it was in the 1990s, it would begin with like an elephant jumping into a fountain with all their friends.
Oh my god.
While recording it. For MySpace.
Right, exactly. Oh, MySpace. I feel like that's a writing prompt. Write an entire story set on MySpace. I was on MySpace. I actually had a wizard rock band on MySpace. That is how nerdy I am, in case these horns don't make it obvious. The answer is the 1930s. That's right.
I thought it was the 20s.
All right. The movie Blade Runner was based on a story originally entitled what? Was it Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, The Man in the High Castle, A Scanner Darkly, or Flow My Tears, the policeman said? All way more interesting names than Blade Runner. Although Blade Runner's not bad. I mean,
like
yeah,
Tears
Blade
in the
Runner's
Rain.
not bad. It's like a classic. But
And to clarify, we're talking about the original Blade Runner, not the new reboot.
I mean, technically, it's still based on the story. It just might be based on the story. Oh, we got a lot on this one. Yes, Android's Dream of Electric Sheep, which is such a great title. Like, come on, that is a great title. Of course, it's kind of silly to applaud Philip K. Dick on a title, but we're getting close, though. 7 minutes.
Oh my God.
This is exciting. I'm feeling the tension, everybody. I really am. So, I don't know if any of you have joined us later on this show. Hello there, if you have. We are counting down 6 minutes to go, or 7 minutes to go, to NaNoWriMo. So, everybody have like their processor up, you know, their hands going. You're doing your exercises, right? We just did a little brainstorming exercise a minute ago, so hopefully your mind's already churning.
All right, checklist. Coffee or cherry soda,
Right.
if you're like me, or tea. Playlist.
Oh, yes. Yes, you still have over an hour. Yeah, if you're not on the East Coast, sorry about that. But, you know, this is helping you pass some time on the way. Just finished plotting my last 3 chapters. Jason, you're just like, every time you turn around, it's like, you just, and I'm sure you did that just in the last 15 minutes based on the way you It's like, yeah, you know, that Peter Pan arc, that was inspirational. I just finished it off. Perfect.
See, those of you who are
All
like,
in a day's
man,
work.
you're not in the Eastern time zone, we get to watch everybody else start, and it's like, oh, thank gosh, I still have 2 hours to think. Or I still have an hour to think.
It's like, you still have 4 minutes to think. You still have 3 minutes to think. What? Yeah, so what's everybody's goal for this evening, right? Are you going to be staying up late? You're going to just crank out a little bit? You're going to try to get ahead on your 1,600 words? What's going on?
I think we're watching Hocus Pocus.
That's awesome, though. Inspiration, right? Some inspiration.
Oh yeah.
Going back to a childhood favorite,
For
that
sure.
works. But you gotta watch it with your nano eyes. You gotta be like, okay, how am I responding to this? Why is this working?
We're gonna
Lord
compete.
bless you. Going to bed. Yeah.
Eat sheets and hocus pocus.
Gotta love a
Going
good
to bed. I love it. I love the honesty. Yes.
Yes.
Going to sleep.
That's my number 2.
I can't stay up late. I'm old, but we'll write some. That is fine. That's
Yeah.
fine. I'm ready to go now. I'm gonna get 3,000 to 500 words tonight. Wow. That
Yes,
is
Wow.
you go, RJ.
You go. You get that writing sprint done, and yeah, you're gonna have quite a head start, right? Going to bed and hoping to figure it out tomorrow.
My guy.
You know what though? You're gonna sleep and you're gonna have like the best nano dream, and you're gonna wake up and you're gonna have like the best ideas. I can
Oh yeah.
That's so true.
Beauty sleep.
plan
Yep.
on writing tons in the morning.
Yeah. There we go.
Nice.
Like crack
Lori,
out.
we know you. You're going to get this in the morning.
Oh,
You can just
Lori Nelson.
Drop us a chat at like 10 o'clock when you're caught up.
Writing the first murder. I love it. Well, you know, if that's your genre, it's like death on the first page, and they died, and that's how you start. I'll be trying to figure out how to intro the big bad without it being incredibly obvious. Ooh, somebody's planning a twist of a villain, and they don't want to make it too obvious.
Oh, I love that.
That's fun. That's fun. Stay up to watch the sunrise. Gotta work tomorrow. Yeah, well, I mean, it's Nano. Just, you know. Oh no, locked in the closet by lost pen. Yes.
Oh my god.
It all
It
comes full
evolves.
circle. Yes, we're back to the lost pen, Rodney. You know,
Let's see what he
I'm
spent
really-
Preptober on.
I hope you're planning on coming to all of our little check-ins because I want to find out how that lost pen is
Yes.
going. Because I'm on the edge of my seat.
I feel like this should be a nano novel concept right here.
Right?
Welcome to NaNoWriMo.
Oh, that's very
a bingo
meta.
line
I'm
for
gonna
you.
write a nano novel about writing a nano novel. somebody must write a novel. It's like, well, what is it, like the 1001 Nights or whatever, the Arabian Nights, where they have to like tell the story in order to prolong something, right? So it's like you
Yes.
have to write a nano in order to prolong.
And Rodney, if the pen is on your side of the thing, I guess you can like write your story, but are you writing it on the wall or you have a notebook too?
After a month, it'll be scratched into the wall of the storage container.
Oh no.
Awesome, fantastic. So I want to know who out there is not already an AutoCrit member. Anybody in the chat? I just want to know. If you're not an AutoCrit member, I want you to let me know. Writing my inciting incident in my young adult supernatural novel. Ooh.
Nice.
That sounds fun.
I love it using those terms, inciting incidents. Somebody knows what they're doing out there.
Seen a
I
couple
guess
bids.
not your first rodeo. I like that. Ooh, we only got a couple minutes left. Oh, I'm so excited.
Oh my
Daniel and I were talking before the live, and I was like, I literally look forward to this day every year almost as much as Christmas. This is
Oh.
one of my most favorite days.
Yay!
Beautiful.
It's super exciting. I just don't even know what to say. Like I'm like 90 seconds left. What do I even talk about?
Anthony, I love that you found Mohawk with your helmet.
Yes, we were.
I
we were
do,
running
I
into
like
some,
that,
stage
yes.
difficulties with our.
Yes, I
Pity
do like
each other
that.
accident.
Yes. It's just putting on your creative
Oh,
headspace.
you just signed up for the fantasy class. Well, I've been
Nice.
doing that.
Beautiful.
Congrats.
The good news is that you have me as your teacher. The bad news is you have me as your teacher. So I'll see you tomorrow night.
See you after
I'm super
class.
excited about that. The cake is a lie. Oh no.
Nice.
Oh, see, I just put it back, and already
We're
the
already
helmets are
hitting each
colliding
other.
there. Let's just.
How are
There
we
we
gonna
go.
write like this?
I'm down.
We're gonna
So
write in these
exciting.
conditions.
Yes, I'm so excited to have you here. just another account. I love the ambiguousness of that. It's very mysterious. And I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow in our fantasy class. And yes, our fantasy class is still open. If you want to sign up, you can go to AutoCrit.com. You can find it. Story, sorcery, and the quest to write stronger fantasy. It's fantastic class, and trying to do nano. You know what? Just do it all. Oh, we're getting close. 16 seconds left. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10. I feel like my timer's a little fast, but that's okay. We're going to go with it.
7, 6,
5,
5, 4,
3, 2,
2,
1.
1.
No.
Oh my god.
All right, so Jason, I'm sure, has already written his book and is getting it published. It's now on sale on Amazon, and it's
Every second that goes by is another book.
right.
Donate today.
But yes, this is your time on the East Coast. Write, be free, start that writing sprint. Yes, thank you, Jason. I'm glad you appreciate that. And for those of you who are AutoCrit members, like we said, we will be joining you throughout NaNoWriMo every 5 days. And I'm going to pay attention. I know who's in here. It's going to matter. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It's going to matter.
Not always at midnight, though.
We're going to have
Like,
prizes
every 5
and things
days is
like
not
that.
at
And
midnight.
participation matters. So, yes. So thank you for joining us. I'm just so excited. I'm so excited for everybody. I'm so excited for our new Nano participants. Anthony L will be checking with them throughout. I'm excited for Catherine because she's going to write 80 million things because, that's what she does.
If anyone else is very nervous and completely new to it, I'll be transparent and I'll hop on at the 2-week mark and a ragged face, I'm sure, or also be very excited. So we'll all do it together.
Yeah.
It coincides with No
Fantastic.
Shave November for a reason.
I got a head start.
Yeah. In the meantime, if you haven't already, please like this feed because it lets YouTube know that we're fun and entertaining, which of course we are. And subscribe if you haven't. Hit the bell because we want to see you on Tuesday at our normal time, the AutoCrit Power Hour at 1:00. Gareth and I will be on to discuss how to write faster. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that inner editor, different tricks you can do. And so, yeah, and come with your ideas too. We love to hear the wisdom of the crowd on that. So yeah, come on board. And I'm just super excited, everybody. If you're not already in the system, like I said, join us on AutoCrit because we're going to be partnering with you along the way. We're going to be here every 5 days. So, and if you're in the system, look for us in the Mighty Networks community, RSVP, so you get your little notifications and you can meet up with us. And yes, subbed, yeah, Fun After 52 Fun,
Nice.
love you.
Daniel, I think
Email
we
me
have
at
some-
daniel@autocrit.com. Fun After 52 Fun. I might have something for you.
Daniel, I think we've got something in the notes here.
What was that?
I think we got something surprising in the notes.
What do we have? It's in the notes. I didn't see that.
What's a surprise?
I don't know.
So yeah, you guys, if you are not already subscribed and following, spoilers, there might be things coming in the coming weeks or so. I don't know how much I'm allowed to say. Now I'm like, I don't know. The rest of the team might be asleep.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like
two
Jocelyn and
streams.
Kevin are probably not watching this broadcast, so it's probably okay to, talk a little bit.
Well, I mean, our tab says it. There might be prizes as we go through NaNoWriMo this year.
Just maybe.
There
A lot of
are
fun
prizes,
commemorative
like I
merch.
said, yes. And participation matters. So yes,
Yeah.
I've been paying attention to who's in this little feed here. And as you show up to these little events, it might just increase your chances for some of these prizes that you've shown up to all these little events. I'm just saying, because we like to reward you for being involved in the community because that's what we're all about. We're all about rewarding community participation.
I'm actually kind of excited because I saw Lori Nelson in here. I believe she was a winner of the beat sheet. We're sending her a mug, so it's coming her way.
Yeah. Just in time for Nano, right?
Oh yeah.
I love it. Yeah, you can fill up your Nano coffee with that. That's awesome.
Al's made a whole bunch
All right.
of AutoCrit stuff just for the occasion. So
it'll be fun, and we have some Nano stuff planned. So get ready; it's exciting.
Fantastic. All right. So, do we have any parting words for anybody for our group as we wrap up and we begin this epic NaNoWriMo 2021? Any thoughts?
Be kind to yourself, guys.
Oh yeah.
Be kind to yourself.
Yes.
I like that one.
Yes. Be kind to yourself. Don't forget that this is about you, right? This is us all trying to do a crazy thing together, which is, I don't know, right? Like 50,000 words in a month. That's impressive. The fact that you even were willing to take that on, give yourself a little pat on the back for trying, and give yourself a pat on the back for every day that you work hard to get to whatever goal it is you're trying to accomplish this month. And you might even start and be like, you know what, 50,000, I can't do that this year. That's fine. Maybe it's 10, maybe it's 15,000. It's more than what you wrote the month before. Well, you're making progress, right? So don't forget that. We're all about that. And not everybody has enough free time to do the whole thing. It's cool. That's the whole point of being able to be a rebel. Yeah, we like rebellion around here. As long as it's good artistic rebellion, you know. And yeah, so we're it's so exciting. I'm so excited to be part of this community. I can't wait to join up with all of you throughout. It's going to be a great Nano, everybody. Thanks for joining us. See you around, AutoCrit. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
We can do this. I love that, Lori. That is a great thing. We'll end on that. We can do this. Yes.
Huzzah!
Yes.
Huzzah.